Ignore that this chapter may or may not sound like shit. I kind of have a throat infection. But I know you don't care about that, so on to the chapter. Over the next few days, Connie just felt numb. No love for her, no love at all. She could go back to Carl, but he was busy with his album and movie. The album was almost done being recorded, but the movie was still being scripted. The theater kids were excited because they were going to be extras in the movie. But still, Connie felt lonely and numb. She was paired with Lindsay for a photography project, where they had to go out in the snow together to take pictures. Everyone opted out in favor of taking photos of unsuspecting students and teachers around the school, except them and one boy who wanted to work alone. So Connie and Lindsay walked out and decided to get photos around a linden tree that was near the school. After the two finished taking photos, they sat by the door together and talked. Paula and her brothers have seemed more distant lately. Do you know if everything's okay? Connie curiously asked. Lindsay then frowned and said, I know why they're like that. You know how they would talk about how their mom was expecting twins? Connie nodded. Lindsay then continued, she had them on the 24th, but something went horribly wrong. Connie asked, what happened? Lindsay said, Paula told me she doesn't want too many people to know about this, but her mom and one of the babies didn't make it. But the one who survived is doing surprisingly well. Connie said, oh, I'll give Paula and her brother some space. But even before, I've always worried about one of them, specifically Faul. He always seems sad. Lindsay said, I think he's just like that. Connie then impulsively joked, I can fix him. Lindsay laughed and said, with true love's kiss. That caught Connie off guard. She had never thought about Faul much, but now she was thinking about kissing him. Lindsay seemed quite amused by Connie's face, letting out a giggle. The boy who was working alone turned around, laughed, and said, I'm friends with Paul. Oh my god, I'm texting him that his brother's getting a girl right now. Connie almost cried, and Lindsay looked at her a bit concerned. Later at lunch, Connie saw Paul waiting for Faul and knew what was coming. She knew her face was red. She could feel it. Why, oh why, did Lindsay have to joke about her kissing him? Ever since those dreadful words had exited Lindsay's mouth, Connie had thought about nothing but Faul. At the moment, she tried to find something else to think about. Jasper's hair was getting longer. No, wait, he's talking about his plans to hang out with Faul. Why? Why? Then she saw him, the man himself, the terrible, kissable Faul. He sat down and said, sorry, I had to go to the bathroom. Paul said, Faul, I have news for you, and showed him his phone. Faul's freckled face got red. Connie had always thought freckles looked attractive, but that was besides the point. Paul and Saul giggled as they pulled Faul up onto the table and slid him in Connie's direction. A few others helped, and eventually he was right in front of her. The two looked at each other in silence. As Connie could not breathe and Faul was extremely red. Eventually, it was Faul who broke the silence. This is a good time to admit, I've thought you're cute since the beginning of the year, but you always seem to like the other guys. Don't do it, Faul, Jasper shouted. I have to deal with her on the bus every morning. I don't think you want to wake up next to her grumpy ass when you're older. Says you, Faul replied. Then he put his hands on Connie's shoulders. I bet you didn't know I'm romantic, huh? He said to her. Then she went for it. She wrapped her arms around him and put her lips on his. There were some cheers, some oohs, and a happy feeling throughout Connie's whole body. She knew by that feeling that she loves Faul more than she ever loved Carl, more than she ever loved Mike, more than she ever loved her other secret celebrity crush, whose identity she will take to the grave. Narrator who can read Connie's mind here, it's Sean O'Lennon. Ew. Carl then spoke. Connie, I have Faul's buddy chat. I'll send you his username. Faul, if you get a friend request from FriendlyFire92, that's Connie. Faul, turning around to get off the table to sit next to Connie, said, alright, thanks. Connie blushed as Faul finished turning and his body felt close to hers, and giggled a bit as he put his arm around her shoulder. She had no idea he could be so affectionate. Faul then asked, since it's Friday, do you want me to go to your house tomorrow? Connie said, yeah, but I'll need one of your parents to talk to my mom. She doesn't like unplanned visits. Faul said, I'll give you my dad's number when I get home. Connie said, okay, can't wait. Connie couldn't believe this was actually happening. The rest of the day felt like a blur. And when she got home and opened her laptop, she found out she didn't even need Carl to give her Faul's buddy chat username, as she already had a friend request from XXFaulXX. So she accepted it, and they messaged each other for a while. She knows that he is actually quite silly, despite how he makes himself seem. She liked that. Please answer the fucking question of the week.